एनामी पॉल ਵੱਲੋਂ ग्रीन पार्टी आगू वजों अपने अहुदे तो अस्तीफा दिता जा रहा है। पिछे ਜਿਹੇ ਹੋਈਆਂ फैडरल चोणां विच हारन तो बाद एनामी ने यह फैसला किया है। टोरंटो सेंटर हल्के तो अपनी ही सीट जितण विच असफल होने तो बाद एनामी पॉल ਵੱਲੋਂ यह फैसला लिया गया है। इन्हां चोणां विच ग्रीन पार्टी के हिस्से 2 ही सीटां आईयां।
Over the, we had a long election, not a long election, but we just finished the election. And the day of the election and the couple of days after the election, there were just a couple of things that happened that really caused me to think about what I wanted next. On the day of the election itself in the morning, the only email that I received from our council, from the president of our council, was an email calling for an emergency meeting to launch a leadership review. And then on Saturday night, only a few days after the election, there was an announcement sent to all of the members, including myself, that a leadership review had been launched. And when I received those two things, at the time that I received them, I just asked myself whether this is something that I wanted to continue, whether I was willing to continue to put up with the attacks I knew would be coming, whether to continue to have to fight and struggle just to fulfill my democratically elected role as leader of this party. And I just don't have the heart for it. The election was very difficult for those who have been following. They will know that, and it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that when you head into an election without funding for your campaign, when you head into an election without the staff to staff your campaign, when you head into an election without a national campaign manager, when you head into an election being, again, under the threat of a court process from your party, it's going to be very hard to convince people to vote for your party. And so there are those who will ask, why did I choose to go ahead in any case? And I can tell you that it was a tremendous struggle to decide to continue. I knew that we were likely not going to do well, and I knew that as the leader, even without those tools that I needed,
ਟੋਰਾਂਟੋ ਪਬਲਿਕ ਹੈਲਥ ਦਾ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਉਹ 5 ਤੋਂ 11 ਸਾਲ ਤੱਕ ਦੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੋਵਿਡ-19 ਵੈਕਸੀਨੇਟ ਕਰਨ ਦੀ ਤਿਆਰੀ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਨ। TPH ਦਾ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਹੈਲਥ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਦੀ ਮਨਜ਼ੂਰੀ ਅਤੇ ਓਨਟਾਰੀਓ ਦੇ ਸਿਹਤ ਮੰਤਰਾਲੇ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਇਸ ਉਮਰ ਵਰਗ ਦੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਲਈ ਹਾਸਲ ਹੋਣ ਵਾਲੀ ਵੈਕਸੀਨ ਉੱਤੇ ਹੀ ਨਿਰਭਰ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ।
Fight against the rules that we already have that are encouraging people to be vaccinated. If you choose not to, fine, but other people do choose to. The vast majority of people have chosen to be vaccinated. We now have over 85% of our adults, of people aged 12 and over, who have received their first vaccination. We want to get it up to 90% because we know that is really important to protect everyone in Ontario. The health and well-being of the people of Ontario is our government's top priority. And so if you don't want to receive the vaccine, fine. But a peaceful protest is fine, but angry confrontations where people can be hurt is not all right. It's not okay. Well, we'll continue giving the advice to people that we always have, which is the best way to protect your own health and well-being, that of your family, your loved ones, your community, is to be vaccinated. We have safe and effective vaccines in Ontario that have been thousands, millions of people have already had them. We're going to continue to ask people to be vaccinated. We do have our vaccination certificate now that is required to go into many places, to restaurants, to fitness studios and other locations. So we're going to encourage people to please be vaccinated. That's the best way to protect yourself and the people that you care about. Well, we're going to take a look at anything that is going to protect people, including young people. We know that the take-up of 12 to 17-year-olds has been very good with respect to receiving the vaccines. Now we're waiting for finalization on whether the Pfizer vaccine in particular can be used for children age 5 to 11. That is something that is important. We want to have as many people vaccinated as is safe and possible. So we are continuing to look at ways that we can continue with that, and that is one of the ways we're looking at.
ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਦੇ ਵਿਦੇਸ਼ ਮੰਤਰੀ ਮਾਰਕ ਗਾਰਨੀਓ ਨੇ UN ਵਿੱਚ ਚੀਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਰਿਹਾ ਕੀਤੇ 2 ਕੈਨੇਡੀਅਨ ਨਾਗਰਿਕਾਂ ਦੇ ਮੁੱਦੇ ਤੇ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕੀਤੀ। ਇਸ ਮਸਲੇ ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਦਾ ਅੰਤਰਰਾਸ਼ਟਰੀ ਸਮਰਥਨ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਲਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਕੀਤਾ ਅਤੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਗਾਰਨੀਓ ਨੇ 40,000 ਅਫਗਾਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਵਿੱਚ ਨਾਗਰਿਕਤਾ ਲਈ ਵਚਨਬੱਧਤਾ ਪ੍ਰਗਟਾਈ।
2 days ago, we welcomed back to Canada Michael Kovrig and Michael Spavor, who were imprisoned by the Chinese government after Canada applied both Canadian and international law in response to a request for extradition of a Chinese citizen. Canada observed the rule of law, and 2 Canadian citizens paid a heavy price for this commitment. We did so as a matter of principle, and we are proud of the courage of our 2 citizens, the good faith and resilience of their families, and the determination and creativity of our diplomats. We continue to oppose the way these 2 citizens were treated. And on that, I want to recognize the support of our many international partners in standing with these Canadian citizens, as well as those who helped in developing and signing the Declaration on Arbitrary Detention in State-to-State Relations. Our solidarity in defense of human rights and international law is an important signal. We must continue to stand together, united in our shared determination to defend our values and principles. There is a reason respect for human rights is one of the 3 pillars of the United Nations. Canada will never forget this experience and this lesson. We shall continue to press for an end to arbitrary detention wherever and however it occurs. Now faced with a heart-wrenching situation in Afghanistan, Canadians have once again shown their openness to those who do not wish to live under the Taliban rule, but prefer to stand up for democracy, human rights, and gender equality.
ਹਾਊਸ ਆਫ ਕਾਮਨਸ ਦੇ ਓਰੀਐਂਟੇਸ਼ਨ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਦੇ ਮੁੱਢਲੇ ਪੜਾਅ ਵਿੱਚ ਹਿੱਸਾ ਲੈਣ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਨਵੇਂ ਚੁਣੇ ਗਏ ਐਮਪੀਜ਼ ਨੂੰ ਇਸ ਗੱਲ ਦਾ ਅੰਦਾਜ਼ਾ ਹੋਇਆ ਕਿ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਭੂਮਿਕਾਵਾਂ ਕੀ ਹੋਣਗੀਆਂ। ਹਾਊਸ ਆਫ ਕਾਮਨਸ ਲਈ ਚੁਣੇ ਗਏ 52 ਨਵੇਂ ਮੈਂਬਰਾਂ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ 10 ਜਾਣ ਪਛਾਣ ਵਾਲੇ ਸੈਸ਼ਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਹਿੱਸਾ ਲੈਣ ਲਈ ਪਾਰਲੀਮੈਂਟ ਹਿੱਲ ਪਹੁੰਚੇ। ਇੱਥੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਕਾਗਜ਼ਾਤ ਭਰੇ, ਆਪਣੀਆਂ ਸਰਕਾਰੀ ਡਿਵਾਈਸਿਸ ਕਾਇਮ ਕੀਤੀਆਂ ਤੇ ਇਹ ਸਮਝਿਆ ਕਿ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਕੰਮਕਾਜ ਦਾ ਕਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਹਿੱਸਾ ਰਹਿਣਗੀਆਂ।
Has just defeated his 3rd Conservative leader in a row. He brought forward a progressive agenda to Canadians, and he was given the trust of Canadians to run this minority government. So I think the caucus has confidence in him. The country has confidence in him, and he will lead a very stable minority government, which I expect to last 2 to 3 years. This next government. So. I think no worries about that. The one thing I would just add to Kate's thing with Mr. O'Toole is he very quickly potentially faces a confidence vote in his caucus. There's something called the Reform Act, which was passed brought in by Michael Chong. Yeah. And 20% of a caucus vote to have a leadership review, then there is a secret ballot. And so there's a mechanism there that he has a very immediate and urgent issue that he has to deal with within his own party.
Increasing those ridings that aren't exactly bastions of NDP support and developing that activist base, developing those candidates and campaigns. And what we've seen across the country in almost every province and territory is overarchingly new Democrat vote going up, and the other parties can't exactly say that. We also spent a lot of time developing candidates that weren't just your usual suspects, your sort of old white guy club, so to speak. You know, that includes more than 50% women, people from the LGBTQ community, Indigenous leaders, including Blake Desjardins, that, many observers were saying, New Democrat can't win in Edmonton-Grougeback. Let me tell you, they can, and they did. So, yes, I would have liked to have seen more seats. Davenport was a heartbreaker at 165 votes, but there's a lot more people on the ground, a lot more excitement to come.
ਬ੍ਰਿਟਿਸ਼ ਕੋਲੰਬੀਆ ਵਿੱਚ ਰਿਹਾਇਸ਼ੀ ਸਕੂਲ ਤਰਾਸਦੀ ਦਾ ਸ਼ਿਕਾਰ ਮੂਲ ਨਿਵਾਸੀ ਭਾਈਚਾਰੇ ਦੀ ਮਾਨਸਿਕ ਅਤੇ ਸਰੀਰਕ ਸਿਹਤ ਲਈ $1.5 ਮਿਲੀਅਨ ਦੀ ਰਾਸ਼ੀ ਮੁਹੱਈਆ ਕਰਵਾਏ ਜਾਣ ਦਾ ਐਲਾਨ ਕੀਤਾ ਗਿਆ ਹੈ। ਇਹ ਵਿੱਤੀ ਸਹਾਇਤਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ 12 ਮਿਲੀਅਨ ਡਾਲਰਾਂ ਦਾ ਹਿੱਸਾ ਹੈ ਜੋ ਜੂਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਐਲਾਨੇ ਗਏ ਸਨ।
I want to thank everyone who joined us today virtually and acknowledge the survivors, the intergenerational survivors and their families who continue to be impacted by the legacy of residential schools. I also want to say that this work does not stop. Communities across British Columbia are doing the difficult but essential work to find answers for the generations of families that attended residential schools in this province. And I know, and you know, that there's much more work to be done, and there'll be many more difficult days ahead. We often talk about the history of residential schools, but survivors and their families and communities know it's not history. The impacts continue to this very day. So respectfully, the province stands with residential school survivors, their families, and the communities who've been impacted by these recent events. But one of the things that the province, all of us, can do is make sure supports are in place for those who need them. We've heard from Indigenous service providers that they have seen a dramatic increase in demand for mental health and wellness supports. In June, our province announced $12 million for BC's Residential School Response Fund. And we've now allocated $1.5 million of that for Indigenous service providers to address the urgent needs for culturally safe and trauma-informed supports. The added funding will strengthen existing mental health and wellness and cultural support services across the province. And it will provide resources for ongoing engagement and supports for survivors, intergenerational survivors, and communities affected. With this funding, the Indian Residential Schools Survivor Society will enhance its 24/7 cultural support line.